if you are watching this and you feel like that the mock that you didn't like it because, oh, you should have took this player, then put down in the comment section what you think we should have done. Do you think we should have drafted a different player? What would have you have done? You have the right to say that. That's okay. No hard feelings, man. I do mock drafts. I've been doing mock drafts for 10 years, and you're not going to get it right for anybody, right? Also, this is going to change, right? We're going to see situations. Cool. We're going to be in situations where the guys that we took won't be there. Or there might be guys that you thought were going to not be there. So we're going to go ahead and dive straight into this particular mock draft. And we're going to do
I'm trying to pull it up right now.
Yeah, take your time. No worries. So just to be very clear, we are going to do no trades. We're just going to pick where we're at. And we're just kind of talk through, like, now that we know what they want to do, because now we know who the coaches are, we're going to try and put together a situation like, what would the Cowboys do? And here we go. So we're going to do a full 7-round mock. Again, it's really like the first couple picks that we care about, and then we kind of just go from there. So let's get started. So Cam Ward, Abdul Carter. All right.
Shedeur Sanders not off the board yet. That's not good for Cowboys. Oh, Shedeur Sanders is on the board. Holy cow! Where did they? Is he off the board?
I think he went, didn't he?
No, he didn't.
Well, that is crazy. God. Well, I'm not taking him because
I'm not taking him either.
So I think that this is an easy pick, and that's that we're gonna. But before we go any further, I think that we clearly know now that if Ashton Jeanty is on the board, I think we're comfortable with saying he is the pick. So let's.
I like a lot of players on this board. I do like, Egbuka, Banks, but I mean, Jeanty's on the board. That to me is a blinking red light. Draft him, and I don't even think you have a discussion at that point.
Let's see, where does Shedeur go? What the hell? He went to the second round?
Yeah, first pick in the second round. See,
that isn't.
I have a blinking red light here on my board.
It was Zach Beck.
Jack Beach, yeah. And this to me
is Zach Beck. Jeez, I'm thinking of another guy. I know. Jesus Christ, Jack Beck. I'm like, I have a buddy named Zach with the same last name, so I'm like, oh, it's him. But no, for sure. So I do believe that this is another great pick. You get another receiver in the room, and I think that. Sorry, just getting a text. I do think that this is also a great pick, but who else is on the board before we take him, if you don't mind? I want to just see.
Princely, Human, Yellen. I really like him. I think he's a good player. You have Cam Skidaboo.
What's up, Mike? I see in the chat.
Carson Schwezinger. I've heard some really good things about him. Haven't watched him yet. Iriante Ursary.
Okay.
Jalen Walker. Donovan Jackson.
I was going to say, I do like the defensive lineman out of Oregon. I was just seeing him. There it is, Derek Harmon. I'm a fan of his. Maybe second round's a bit too rich for me. But yeah, I think we go with Jack Beck. I think the Cowboys, you try to load out on another receiver. They got Jonathan Mingo. Well, bro, like, you got to think about it this way. They want to get a young guy in here that has 4 years of control as well. So that's
here to me in the third round, if Max, I've heard so many good things about Maxwell Hairston. This is another player I have yet to watch. I'm about like 54 players in. I watched Trey Harris, Deion Walker, those guys, but I'm not. We drafted a receiver, and I'm not comfortable taking Deion Walker here in the third round. To me, I think this is Maxwell Hairston because you're going to be in a situation where you're probably going to have to pick between Diggs and Bland. I think Bland is the right pick there. Jordan Lewis is getting a bit older. So to me, this is a pretty easy. I mean, Jonah here, he could play offensive line for you. You probably play him at guard. But, to me, this is I want to get better in our secondary and add another reliable piece there.
Right. No, I agree. So, like, that's the thing is that I do think that the Cowboys are going to take another corner this year. I think that to your point, one of the big things is what happens with Diggs. He's going to be on the team next year, and then I think after this upcoming year, you have an out, and I think that makes sense. And again, we're not going to do any trades for those watching. You guys can go actually check the first mock draft we did last week if you want to see what we would have done with trades and stuff like that. But let's go with Maxwell Harrison, man. I think that is a great pick given the matter of, you're going to probably need another corner in the room because if Diggs is anything like his brother, which of course they're related, but no duh, injury prone, and that's not going to be good long term. But also, like, if you do lose Jordan Lewis, just as another point, if you do lose him, I think one of the big things is that you're going to need another corner.
Oh yeah, for sure. So a few guys that I watched here. I watched CJ West. I love CJ West. I think he's a legit NFL starter. Seth McLaughlin, he's a pretty decent center there. So, offensive line. Emory Jones is a guy that, people had a lot of expectations for going into the year. I like Jordan James a lot. Taj Brooks.
Yeah.
Like a spell back there.
I know that scroll down, I'm just seeing who else is on the... Yeah, Kobe King, being a Penn State guy, I think that he would fit well here in Dallas, especially with, like, being a solid depth piece for you. Again, once you get into, like, rounds 5 through 7, it's just about filling out the roster. Now, at the quarterback room, I think that, you do have... I would say, like, I wouldn't pull the trigger on a quarterback yet. I would probably pull a trigger in the 6th round, excuse me. But yeah, I'm saying let's go with CJ West here. Let's get another defensive lineman to add alongside Osa and company and keep this train moving.
With Osa and Mozzie too. I mean, he's your prototypical nose tackle type, but he plays with really good range, very powerful, good with his hands. So I'd be very good here.
Let's see here. I'm probably going to take... If it were me, I'm probably going Kyle McCord here, just because... Now, you could just be like, will the Cowboys draft a quarterback? Probably not. I'd be shocked. But because of the fact that if we're kind of going through the method, if that follows through, which is that they typically have a 3-quarterback setup, if that is adopted by Brian Schottenheimer, I would hope that they do invest in a quarterback, especially one that you'll have control over for 4 years. I've watched Syracuse football. I think Kyle McCord would be a solid developmental quarterback for you.
I've watched Kyle McCord since St. Joe's Prep. So, but here's where I'm going to push back. This team needs a linebacker. So to me, I'm not even saying this because I'm an Ohio State fan. Cody Simon is to me the pick here because, I mean, you look at Buffalo. I think they're going to take this guy off the board from us.
Yeah, and you could probably take him in the next pick. Let's do that. Yeah, because Yep.
And then boom, we have Kyle McCord right there for us. I'm cool with taking him. You cool with taking him?
Yeah. Let's go with that. Mm-hmm.
And then here, you want to know what? I think that this would be. Ooh, I really like Jordan James. I know we drafted a running back.
Well, so here's the thing: is that
let's check tight ends.
Yeah, because I really like Gaddison. I think Gaddison would be and because the last time we did this, Gaddison wasn't there in round 7. So to me, I would take, I'll take Gaddison here, and here's why. If you've watched Syracuse football, this guy, I think he's going to shoot up the draft board. I think he'll be a day 2 pick this year. I really do. I'm absolutely shocked he's going this late on day 3. But to me, I think that the reason why you also take him is because I don't know what Jake Ferguson's going to look like long term. He's coming up on a payday. And if you're going to roll with Luke Schoonmaker, at least get another dude in the room. Because you have Brevin Spann-Ford. I think that, with him being restricted free agent, you have, I think, 2 more years of control before you got to tender him. But yeah, so let's see here.
I'm very interested here in Ollie Gordon. I know his stock has plummeted. Jake Majors is it? You want to know what? I take.
I would prefer Jake Jake Majors, because I kind of watching what Texas did this year and just looking at what he put on film. I think that he can probably be a Brock Hoffman type of player where he could be at best a solid, at best I say decent, solid starter, but I think he's going to be relegated to backup duty in the NFL. But that's okay, can't have enough O linemen. And then
you know who I think will 100% be the pick here?
Shiloh.
I think that's going to be the pick, but I'm not.
I mean, we could do it for the jokes, but I mean, I don't care because again, once you get, so here's the thing, like once you get past a certain point and the guys that I want are gone, I could give a crap less what you do. So if we want to take another running back, if we want to go somewhere else, because this is a guy that's probably not going to make the team.
Oh, you want to know what? I watched Ty Robinson. There's LeJontay Wester. I watched Ty Robinson, very active defensive tackle, really big, really big. I think he's like 6'6", 330, somewhere around there. Let me see the measurables. 310. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is my pick here. All
right, go for it. I'm going to give you full reign to do that. I could care less what happens.
Ty Robinson.
So, so that's our draft. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at how we did, and we'll probably get complaints about how we should have done this or that or whatever the case may be.
There's a lot of needs on the Cowboys, and if they don't address them in free agency,
it's very hard because like we're in a position where the Cowboys haven't made any moves yet, right? And I think that for me at least, like if we have too many holes to fill, it is what it is. So let's go through it. So our first round pick is Ashton Genty, an A+. But again, like if you take him, I mean, if he's there, you take him. What a fantastic selection by that. And on top of that, you give Clayton Adams probably one of the better, kind of going through his career. I think he did have Jonathan Taylor at one point, but you give him arguably the most talented player he's worked with in the running back realm. Day 2, we went with Jack Beck as well as Maxwell Hairston, and I think that is a good duo there. You get a guy that for the next 4 seasons you can pair alongside CeeDee Lamb. You get another weapon for Dak. And then also at the cornerback position, you probably fill the hole that is left by Jordan Lewis, as well as future-proofing yourself in the event that Trevon Diggs walks. Then you didn't have a 4th-round pick, but you had a couple picks in round 5. CJ West, we went with him in the last mock draft. Big fan of his after I started doing some research on him. Cody Simon, you're the Ohio State guy. I think that's, I've seen a couple bits of him. Kyle McCord, again, I've watched Syracuse football a ton.
Another Ohio State guy.
Another Ohio State guy, Kyle McCord, for those that don't know. And then Orandre Gaddison II. I've watched Syracuse football because I have some buddies that go to Syracuse, and they talk very highly of Gaddison. And just watching what he's done, I mean, I think that you can get something out of him. But again, I don't think he's going to be there in round 5. I think he's going to shoot up draft boards, and for it to be an F is a bit ridiculous. Jake Majors, again, backup center, possible starter if if you want to move him around, if he develops. And then Ty Robinson, you get another. So I mean, look. 2 defensive tackles. You get an offensive lineman. You get some weaponry and skill positions. I think that this is a pretty. I would say that this would be like the epitome of like a Brian Schottenheimer draft, where you're getting the weapons to work with.
Yeah, and I echo a lot of your sentiments here. I think if they're bringing in a high profile running back coach, I think it's because they want to invest at that position, and that's where I think they're going there.